Hey, what's up, y'all? Sawtooth Dave here. I'm doing the collection video, Christmas of 22, and this is the Medford section. uh, I could go into tons of detail about what I like and what I don't like about brands or not brands, but if you're doing the whole vote with your dollar thing, this is the most knives I have from any manufacturer. Pretty much says it all to me. Let's start with what I don't particularly care for and work up towards my favorites, I guess. Okay, so this is pretty much my wife's knife. She's a flipper gal. This is a Victorian Swift flipper. So it's on bearings. It's before he changed the detent. And this particular one came from Jason at Brass Brigades. Before he did his run of knives, he was trying to raise some funds, and I bought this off of him. So this one is Victorian Swift flipper, and you can see it's not the best flipper, but that's Medfords in general for me aren't the best flippers. But number one, this one also came from Brass Brigade, Jason. This is the infraction. It was all black, and everything else you see, like the hardware has changed, and I've changed some of this a little bit, and also made my own pocket clip on it. This is another one of those love-hate kind of things for me. The overall quality of the knife's great. It's just the finger control itself. It's like hard to get the finger in there. My fat fingers don't fit all the way in there. You can see the overlap already right there. So this one doesn't get as much use. This was over at Eonan's for a while. And I just wanted to get it back to kind of do the whole Medford collection. Whether it goes back over there or not, I don't know. He might be done with it too. I'm not sure. It's a cool knife. This one's phosphor bronze, not bearings. I think that Swift flipper is the only one I have on bearings. Everything else is phosphor bronze. Cool knife, just not carried that often. I did customize it a little bit to make it more of my liking to start to see if I like it, and it's still not really one of my favorites, but it's cool to have in the collection. I don't plan on selling it or anything. I like having the Medfords. This is the MIDI Marauder. This is the full thickness MIDI, so it's the older version in D2, and this one was an exclusive to somebody that I don't remember. And Aaron, I got this one from Aaron, my buddy Aaron, and he probably told me at one point, and I think he did research on it and stuff, but my wife calls this one the Christmas gift wrapping, because it looks like wrapping paper on this end of it right here. It's like laser done, whatever, but it's cool. I dig it. I don't really carry it a ton, but I like the full sizeness, and this one over the infraction every day of the week. This one fits the hand, feels way better in my hands than that little infraction does. And to round off the last of the little guys, this is one I still wish they'd made. This is the RMP. Yes, I made that scale. No, I'm not in the business of making more scales for anybody else, but if it come down to it and you had to have one, we might be able to work something out. I did finish the whole thing till it all matches. So the aluminum oxide, I think I aluminum oxide this one, with the stone washed. And I did the regular clip in the frame lock side, all at the same time. This one's also in D2. And this is a cool little knife. This is one that he should still be making for sure. Definitely fits big paws really well. Handles a lot of tasks, pretty robust. It's a cool little knife. I dig it. That one does get carried pretty decent amount. Up to a workhorse, 187. I did mod this one to make this little, normally you have a little tab that hangs out right here. I just kind of get rid of that tab so I can slide my big old meat hooks up in there and get a little better grip, whatever I was trying to say there. Get a little better positioning on the knife that I like. But this thing's a good workhorse. This is definitely one of the ones that you throw in your pocket, don't mind beating the shit out of. Have fun with it. And this one's also an S90, so it's the 187 DP. And then you got the Embelay, which is one of the few I actually bought new. This is an S35. This one came from a local gun shop here in Tucson. And I didn't spec any of this stuff out, but it all pretty much is spot on what I like. Of course, the American motif for the flag, the laser. It's the first one I had seen in person. As soon as I saw it, I knew it had to be mine pretty much. So that's the Embelay. Pretty cool knife. It's been in Chuck Nunface's videos before as well. This is another one I bought new, same gun store actually. This is the Fighter Flipper, and this one kind of was more of a anniversary gift from my wife. And it's the flamed, what do they call that? I forget what he calls it. I think he calls it Faced and Flamed or something like that. With the anno work on the, what you call this thing? And how about that? And then blue anno over here and the flame on the hardware over there and regular blade. I think this is S30. Is that what it says? I think it's S35. Yep. Cool knife. Doesn't get carried that much because it's super pretty. I would love to carry it. My wife would kill me if I scratched it up, so we'll leave it in the safe. Mostly. That one does not get carried that much. All right, my regular Marauder is a Marauder H, actually, not a regular Marauder, Marauder H. Also a drop point instead of a Tonto. I do like the Tontos better. Sorry about the fall down there. I do like the Tontos a little better look-wise, but this one was available and I snagged it. And this one is in 3V. This is the only Medford I got in 3V. Definitely wanted some 3V from Medford. Dig this one a ton. I let Matt borrow this one a while back and he ended up buying one. Marauder H himself, so it's a cool knife. I like the black with the stainless hardware. Nice. And anybody know what that F means? I don't know what that F means. Anybody know? Fake? I don't know. Let's start some shit here. I don't know what that F means in there. You know, it probably means something, but I don't know. I just know I like the knife. Last but not least, by far, my favorite is the TFF1H, which is basically the same thing as Fat Daddy, just the 3/16 blade instead of the 1/4 blade, but it's got the same clip and everything on it. I have had Fat Daddies in the past. I've had Praetorians in the past. What else have we had? I don't know. I can't even remember all the Medfords I've had, but these are the ones that are here and the ones that are staying. My Medfords as of Christmas of 22. All right, continuing on. Christmas 22. These are the Hinderers. I have one Hinderer, another 24 out for regrind right now. It's over at Custom EDC Knives, getting a regrind. Also Precision Knife Works USA. Look him up if you want to. He does amazing regrinds. We'll see. I ain't gotten on yet, but hopefully it'll turn out. This is my older XM24. This one was on the nylon. I took it apart, put the phosphor bronze on it that I wanted, and I may possibly make a tie scale in the future for it. This one was sharpened by none only than Mike Emler, so it has that wicked nasty convex edge on it. I don't know if it comes across in video or not. This was on Edgy American Shane Gable's channel a while back. It was for sale there and I snagged it up. I had to right away. This is a cool ass knife that does not get carried as much as it should. Cool as hell though. Both these, this one actually came from my buddy Jake, and this was Hot Rod's knife. She likes the blue, so I ended up throwing the blue hardware in there. And no, it's not Hinderer's hardware, it's aftermarket. And yes, that's sacrilegious for Hinderer guys, but it's more about the color on this one. And I think honestly the knife probably felt a little bit tighter, a little bit better with the stock hardware, but this is about a look, so this is not really getting used hard or anything. My wife is definitely a flipper gal, so these are Hinderers are definitely what she prefers right now. And last, for number 4 for the Hinderers, will be this Eclipse. This one came from Aaron. This is the Harpoon Tanto. And Aaron put an edge on this one. It needed to be touched up a little bit. Also my buddy JD for EDC, did a video on this one. This one now has the full tie scale. I used to have the G10. I just got that recently. Actually, Aaron cued me into that drop too and got it. Overall, like, see the handling of the smaller Hinderers, and some people are a huge fan of these smaller ones. I'm not. I'm really, honestly, they're a little bit on the small side for me. The 24s is my wheelhouse. That's probably the smallest knife that I would consider a full duty knife for me. You know, as of right now, everything changes in time, but as a whole, the brand, like, I love how good machining is. I love the general designs of these knives are pretty well thought out, pretty well work. You know, they all have flaws, but in general, pretty good fan of the brand, and definitely because they're made in the USA, Nixon definitely makes it proud to have them in a collection. So those are my 4 Hinderers, even though the other one's not here. My 4 Hinderers as of Christmas of 22. All right, well, what you're looking at is the remains of my ZT collection. As sad as that may be, it is the 100% truth. This is what I have left of ZTs. There's a few that I never thought I was going to part ways with. Buddy of mine got into a situation, so I figured I can either keep the ZTs I want or I can help him out. So I helped him out. That's just between me and him who that was, but he got some cool ones, and now we're reduced to these. So as in kind of a collection videos go, I hadn't really like chopped up what's been mine and what's been my wife's pretty much. But in this one's mine, and these two are hers. That's pretty much how we look at it. Like, she doesn't have a limit about how many knives she has. I have a limit on how many I have, so we kind of have to, you know, keep the limit real and let her have her thing. But this is 0456. This is the original one with the blue. I had to have another one of these that had blasted hardware, and it's over at Eons now. And a lot of people had borrowed that. I let quite a few people check it out. But then I found this black wash one, and the black wash one is definitely more my style. And it's probably the coolest little knife for some reason, and I call this little knife. But I did put the clip off the, I think that was the 0850 or maybe the 0804. I can't remember. So it had a clip like this, but I put this one on instead. I like this clip much better, although it does rattle a little bit. I need to fix the bend on it. And this is the 0456, 0462, I'm sorry, 0462. We had a couple of these too. Gave a couple of these away. This is a funky little dude, but cool knife, cool to have. Super lightweight for what it is, but this is what remains for the ZTs. Not much left, really. Kind of wish ZT would actually do something. They did 0456 recently in the M4 with the blue, which I thought the steel itself was cool, but the blue is not my flavor. Well, hopefully ZT will do something in the future, but until then, this is pretty much where we're at. Bottom of the basement for me. Cold steel part of the collection. Recon 1 Tanto. This one's a hollow ground one. An S35. This is a present from me to from Cue Ball to me. I'll have this one forever. I love this knife. I've had several Recons. They come, they go. You know, people need a knife, end up, you know, giving them a knife, whatever. This one's mine. This one's staying. I love the hollow ground. I love the Tanto. Everybody should have a Recon 1 for the price, right? Hard to argue. American made Formax. This one has been modified before me. I dressed it up, made it look better. Different stud on it. Yes, I put that stud on there. I'll show you the other knife that those studs went onto in a minute. And I did HRC or hardness test it. Let's see if I can find where it is. There you go. There's one. One of the tests right there, and the other test is back there. I don't know if you see those little dimples or not, but that's where you test it to see what it was. And this one is in 20 CV, and it did come in soft at like 56 or something on the after it's been welded and stuff. So I wouldn't say that's a manufacturer necessarily. It's probably more of the modification, but is what it is. What it is actually at the edge, I don't know. You can't have to. It has to be a pretty flat surface in order to test it. So at least for the one that we use at my job, I like this knife. It's kind of more of the beater of the, well, all cold steels kind of have that, for me anyhow, have that whole beat on it and don't care about it kind of thing. More or less, you know, compared to other knives. And these are, besides the frame locks, this is probably the only lock systems, the triad lock, are probably the only other lock system I like, I don't know, like it as much as the frame lock, or quite just a hair bit behind the frame lock. And this is the other Taiwanese new one, S35 version of the Formax Elite, I think that's what they call it. And this one came from that Midway USA. Now, the reason I got this is because the price was just too good to turn down, and I was going to give it away, to be honest with you. Then I got it, and I was like, I don't think I can give that away. And then I haven't really carried this one or done anything with it. Was thinking about possibly doing a giveaway in the future, but I don't know. I guess for right now, I kind of want to keep it and kind of compare these two and see how they go. Don't know about the heat treat on this one. I haven't done anything with the edge on this one, but it's still pretty good. And you can see that this was like from the grind, that's the secondary bevel. I don't know what angle this is, but you can see it's a much broader angle than what this is. And this one's sharp pretty much at 20 degrees. So this one appeared to be thinner than this one. I don't know. Worth exploring in the future. But that's my cold steels as of Christmas 22. All right, we're on to the striders now. So 3/4 AR, old SMF, and J2. Those are the three striders that are remaining in my collection. I've had many more come through. These are what remain. So let's start with the J2. This one I borrowed from Steve. In the process of borrowing it from him, the stop pin actually rattled out, came loose and rattled out. So I made my own stop pin, put it in there. It has been absolutely flawless since. Great knife. That's just that one flaw right there. This one is a little slick in the hand. This stone wash they did on it, you kind of see the sheen coming off of it. Just a little slick, a little slick, a little odd in the hand. Like it takes a minute to kind of figure out where you want to put your fingers to kind of get everything, you know, working for yourself. But it does have basically two distinct grips that are completely different. But the blade's very useful when I get that super high flat ground. I like this one a lot. This is in 154 cm. Probably will refinish the scales eventually just to give it a little more grip. This SMF was actually an old YouTuber's, if you remember, if you're from way back when, Blood Then Flowers. This was his when he was a law enforcement officer, and he ended up having he did a whole story and a video on it. It's the only reason I mention it. He ended up having to go through a door, and this knife right here is what helped him get through the door. Then he worked for, I think it was Nocturnal Knives, if I'm not mistaken, and they KG gun coated it and they reground it, and it's been used and abused since then. And you can see it's been through the ringer a good bit. The scale on originally was, when I got it, was a Lego G10 scale, and I had this chevron on another SMF. We took it off, put it on this one. So this is what this SMF is, kind of an abortion at this point, all over the fucking place. Nothing close to stock. This is before Strider started marking it, the blades. So no markings as far as what steel it is. This is S30. This is one of the original ones. I love this knife. This knife is never going anywhere. This is my wife's knife. 3/4 AR. I believe this one was customized by Anthony Griffith with the frag and whatnot. This one's an S35. They have, you know, other steels and stuff in them, but I've heard quite a few people have minor issues or major issues with these. This one is absolute money. Absolutely never been an issue. Good action. It's a really good knife. This one's also been on JD for EDC's channel. If you want to hear his thoughts on it, you can go to his channel, check it out. I don't really carry this one that much. I don't really know why. It's just one that I don't really gravitate towards. Like, even the SMF, you know, when I had my own SMF, it's not that the knife's bad. It's a badass knife. I just generally don't carry it. I don't know why. Just something that I don't gravitate to. Now, the J2, I will definitely carry, and kind of carry that more on a regular than I would these other two for whatever reason. That's just how I've been rolling. But, you know, times change and attitudes change as we go. So that's what it is of Christmas 22.